Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Influence Women's Empowerment. I am definitely MJ. I hope everyone has been doing well. I am here again. I have been doing a lot of transitioning, doing some upgrades, and getting ready for you, getting some things prepared for you to launch into the world. But I wanted to talk about today that there is definitely life after divorce and separation. Life after divorce and separation. What are some of the things that women experience when they're separated from a spouse that especially that they probably really loved? I'm not talking about the ladies who left. I'll talk to you about that another time. But those ladies who really were in love and had no idea that they were going to face separation in the future, or that they were going to be in divorce proceedings, or they were going to have a divorce. I guess nobody really goes into a marriage or a relationship thinking that this is going to end. Especially us women, we love so deep. Our love is because we're receivers, and so we would do a lot of sacrificing and a lot of holding on to things that maybe God doesn't want you to be in. So let's dive deep about some of the things that happens when you are being separated from someone that you really love, but it's not. You see that it's not working. You got the counselors, the therapists, the rabbis, the priests, that everybody, aunties, uncles, your mother, your in-laws, your outlaws, your everything, to help you keep this relationship together. Every family member, even your children, if that was the case, so that you guys would not break up. But sometimes things in life happens to us that we cannot control. And if you know that you did it all, you even if you thought it was an image problem, you even probably worked on your image, and that still couldn't keep him. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that there is definitely life after this. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay stuck. It's normal what you're going through right now. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel hurt. You're going to feel regret. You're going to feel the whys, the whos. You might be questioning God. You might even question yourself. And that's okay. That's the process. And actually, I want you to look at a rope that has, like, it's been entwined. It's wrapped up. And as a woman especially, men go through it too, but as a woman, when the rope is starting to become unraveled, if you ever see a rope and how you tear it like that, and you see all this dust and all this residue, that's like us women. Like, we're actually the soul tied. The man that was within us, the love, the pouring out, is actually coming apart. It's actually being unraveled. And when you unravel something, imagine if the rope was like a human. It had feelings and emotions. So that's actually us. And it's so painful. And you're probably saying, well, where does this pain come from? And who invented it? But it's real. And as it begins to unravel and you begin to separate yourself, sometimes it's difficult. So if you ever see the rope that you're trying to tear it apart, it's like it's so hard to come apart. You see all the dust and all the residue and all the material is just ripping. That's really you being ripped, the pain, the hurt. But the good news is that as it begins to unravel with time, you are not to stay there. You are to take that season in your life as, okay, I'm going to accept this. It's the accepting part, that this is where I am right now in my life. I had a failed relationship, and I know that I need to move on. Maybe I lost myself in the process. Maybe I was giving everything to him, and now I feel like there's nothing left in me. So now it's time to find yourself. And some of the tools that we need is to, number one, find a good support system. You can't go through a divorce or a separation alone. It's humanly impossible because you will be stuck for a long period of time. I know there's some people who have temperaments that feel like I need to just iron this out in my head. I need to just be clear. I need to just be in isolation, and I need to stay alone. Okay, I understand that. But don't stay alone for too long. Make sure that you have at least one person that you can talk to, and that's going to allow you to come out of your comfort zone, which is probably being indoors, or maybe you're probably outdoors running, so that you can find a balance. So that's number one. Don't be upset with the people who probably left you because they felt like it was your fault or that you could have done something better, especially if you know in your hearts of hearts that you tried your best. So don't be upset. Find a good support system. Let those people who left you, God is removing them. And make sure that you get into some form of therapy. Therapy is the best way to go through this. You don't have to leave your home anymore now. There's so much Zooms and online. So don't worry about if you don't want to be seen or you don't want people to know your personal business. There's many pastors, rabbis, all kinds of counselors that were willing to speak to us at this time of season about everyone's lives that's going through mental health transition, because it does affect your health. It does cause depression. It may cause some anxiety because now you are not with this person that you really loved, and your body, as I said, this rope, is no longer entwined with this person, especially it's been for a long period of time, right? So now this rope is going to be on its own, hanging or tattered and torn, and it needs to find its own way to wind up, to look nice again. And it's a process. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's okay. Don't feel bad if today you're feeling happy and tomorrow you're feeling sad again. It's okay. It's a process. It takes time. But I want you to have a good support system. I want you to make sure you have counseling. And if there's kids involved, I want to also make sure that you take the kids, because they're going through the same thing that you're going through in their own little way. And don't try to push their feelings away. Check in on them. If you have to do that at the end of every week or the beginning of a week or maybe even every day, just allowing them to express their emotions and say, oh, how are you feeling today? What's going on? Talk to me. And don't be like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And no, stay there with them and assure them that you understand. And even if you don't understand, just be with them at that moment. Don't let those feelings, because they have their little trials too. Kids have their little stuff that they're going through too, their little emotions. And they may not know how to express it. Some kids misbehave. And so you want to stay there with them. And that's the time when you want to bond with them. Okay? Even if they're young or even older. Even if they're out of the house, it's even good to speak to those kids that are out of the house too, because they get affected. And sometimes it could trickle down if they're in a relationship too, because they begin to question, I don't understand. What happened? They were together for so long and now, so you want to check in. It doesn't matter if the person is young or old. Check in on them and ask them, how are you feeling? How you feel about this? How you feel about, Dad and I, it didn't work out. What's going on? Right? Number 2, you want to get your finances going. Most women, if she didn't come from old money, or she didn't have new money, or she doesn't have a good job, good profession, usually during a separation, most women are affected. And it takes most women a longer time to climb back up into that status where she was with the man, especially if he was the breadwinner. And so this is a time where you would not need to sit down with a financial planner or sit down with yourself and figure out a short and long-term goal and how you're going to get back to this place where you were. Maybe you have not been in court proceedings yet. Maybe, you maybe have owned a home and there may be some court proceedings coming up in a long way. And at this time, you need finances, right? You probably need child support. So you have to sit down in your hearts of hearts and think about how you're going to get there. If you're not one of those women who left with funds to keep the status or monies that was coming in when you were together, right? So you want to make sure that you sit down and figure out financially how you're going to survive. And know that things are going to work out. No, it's going to work out. Don't think that you're never going to get, maybe God has something bigger and better for you. Sometimes when we're stuck in a situation, sometimes God has to do things to push us out. And maybe for you to go back, you never know. But some people, some events that you probably deem as traumatic, and it probably was, had to happen so that you could come out, because you probably wasn't going to leave. You probably was going to stay and die like that, or just get sick and die. And so sometimes when you're praying and if you're asking for a way out, it doesn't happen nicely most of the time. Sometimes people just get up and just leave. But that's not the case for everybody, right? So, and the next one is I want you to work on your emotional stability. Sometimes we could get stuck in emotions. That's also mental health. But out of your therapy, if you're in it or talking to a good friend or family member who's helping you through the process, you have to help yourself. You have to help yourself. Don't stay down, because this separation for a lot of women also affects us physically. Some women gain a lot of weight. Some of us lose a lot of weight. Some of us even have nervous breakdowns, like I said earlier, about anxiety disorder, attitude, nervous breakdowns, where the nervous system just can't take it. It's like, oh gosh, this is happening to me. I never thought this would happen to me, you know. But you have to not be stuck in your emotions. You have to talk to yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to pull myself together. I'm going to take care of myself. Because a lot of women, when they're in depression, they don't take care of themselves. Some people won't even take baths for days. You would even never know, right? Their hygiene, the clothing, everything is just off. And so, ladies, I want to encourage you that don't get stuck in that emotion. Recognize it. And if someone's telling you, you know, baby girl, you're not taking care of yourself, listen. Listen, don't be stuck for a man, right? Don't be stuck for a man. Don't. He's human, right? And so, but you got to take care of you. So get up, take care of yourself, get yourself together. I'm empowering you. Get yourself together and focus on you. You know, you probably was pouring so much into this man as if he was the God of the universe. And sometimes as ladies, we do that. We really unconsciously do put a man as this supreme God in our lives, that we are pour so much that we forget about ourselves. And if that's you, and if you was that type of woman who poured all into him, like, now you know, that's a lesson, that God first, you second, if you have a mate, and then the kids, right? So you want to get up, ladies. Take care of your hygiene. Take care of your physical health. Make sure if you have lost weight or you've gained weight or you're not feeling yourself, if your pressure has skyrocketed or you feel like your sugar is spiking, make sure you get that check-in, go in to see a physician and let them know that what's happening with you and that you want to be monitored, because people in this stage, women especially, do fall sick. And some people do get cancer too because of the pain and the hurt. It just stays in the body. It doesn't move anywhere. It just sticks somewhere. And so we don't want that to be your case. We want the emotions to move out of the body. You're going to have emotions because we all do. God created us with these emotions, but he did not create us for us to stay in the emotion. We feel it, we recognize it, and then we begin the process of healing. Right? So I just want to encourage you, ladies, financially, socially, physically, you need to get help. Make sure you let your physician know if you know that you're not feeling yourself. Let him know or she know that you need assistance physically so that you don't fall sick. Make sure that you are taking care of your physical being, You even need to go for walks. Walking is one of the best things that you could do if you to get out the house so that you could stop thinking about what's happening. Make sure you have that in your routine. Don't just some women just work. Keep themselves busy as a way to forget the pain and the hurt, because they said depression doesn't can't take over you when you're moving. That's true, but you need a balance, because sometimes you could be moving so much and the body will just put you down and say, okay, you've been moving a lot, but you're not dealing with me. And it's showing up at work. You're having outbursts, you're crying, it's showing up in your body. So it's showing up in your headaches, showing up in your face, showing up you just don't want to do anything. You're not the person that you was before. So you want to, ladies, check in, right? Mental, get into therapy, make sure you have a good social system, make sure you have a financial goal, make sure physically if you're not feeling yourself, that you let your physician know that I need help. I'm not eating, I'm depressed, can you help me? Or I'm eating too much, or I'm not feeling myself, I'm feeling sick, I'm having a panic attacks, anxiety attacks, I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. So you want to check in. Don't just let those emotions ride by just pushing yourself or just going into your slumping and getting angry, especially if there's kids involved, right? And especially if you're feeling suicidal. A lot of women do feel suicidal. They feel like, especially if the person left you for someone else and there was some physical abuse or mental, emotional abuse in the relationship, financial. It's very important, like I said earlier, to get help, ladies. Don't be afraid to get the assistance you need, okay? You're not alone. There's so many women, but your story is unique, because nobody else has your story. That's the best thing, that nobody else has your story. And although there's so many women going through it, your story is unique, and it's your story, and it's your development, and it's your growth. Look at it as a growing, that you are growing, and that you're going to come out bigger and better. Only if you are proactive, right? Some people don't come out bigger and better because they're not proactive. You don't want to be that. That's not you. You're not going to stay there and just wallow for another human being when you are just as expensive and priceless as he. So I am definitely MJ, and I want you to stay encouraged and be blessed.